Hey guys, I'm going to be beating episode Aigis with only Pixie, but before we get into the real meat of the run, I gotta clarify the rules. First and most obvious, once I get Pixie, I cannot unequip her. Everything until that point is fair game. Then we have some normal stuff, no New Game Plus, no Makara card, no Tetra card, and I have to play on the highest difficulty, in this case Heartless. I'm also not going to be using the Velvet Room at all, so no fusing and no compendium with only one exception. We start by throwing hands. Holy shit, how is Akihiko just eating those? My god. Also, they just show us the whole game here. No idea why. Now, back to the past, we hand in our fake guns and have some sushi to celebrate the dorm closing.
What was that?
Damn it. Some shit's happening again.
Jeez, man. Is that all it was? I guess even the news people screw up every once in a while. Really had me going there for a second.
I wish I could be as optimistic as him. I wake up in the middle of the night and get greeted by the blue butterfly. It means something, for sure. There's a loud crash, and Fuka comes in with the most urgency I have ever seen from my character. Good thing we hurried because our friends weren't fully dead yet.
Please, don't resist. There, direct hit. Combat system offline. Stronger than I thought. So it's come to this. Is that? Even this? Aigis!
Oh, holy shit. Why'd she go straight for Ken? What'd he do? Good thing Metis took her time in choking out the kid. Come on, man, you can just say it, you know? Anyway, Igor is eager for us to return, but we're not gonna be doing that. Aigis wakes up to see the most horrendous fit of all time forcibly strapped to her body. I would complain more, but if I was lugging around a life support machine, I doubt I'd look good either. Anyway, Crazy Robot Lady is our sister, and nice now because we said so. Also, there's a basement now. How? Why? We don't know, but the only way to get answers is by exploring. The Abyss of Time is, well, it's there, and everyone is still sus of Metis.
Thank you, sister.
Something about her voice just makes me want to ponder, and I know that sounds bad.
Now that we know where to start, we suit up, Metis wants to be included, and we start talking about why our levels are lower.
I don't seem to be affected. Are you sure it's not simply because you're all weak?
Oh, we're weak, are we?
Save it for later, Akihiko.
I set up my team, and then learned that you have access to all personas you can get from Shovel Time before the start of episode Aigis. Meaning,
Please take a look. So
God.
you'll be summoning this one?
level 2?
Well, it's yours.
At least I can start instantly. This DLC doesn't have much in the way of social aspects, so I'm mostly just going to be showing fights with a few breaks here and there. I got Iha for some more coverage, and my Pixie is going to be leveling up fast. After 2 fights, we already have Tarukaja, and 1 more gives us everything she can learn naturally. So from here out, I'm gambling with every shuffle time I do. And would you look at that? Already at my first boss. Also, I picked up Medea, Garu, and Secunda, but they don't stay long. To be honest, I'm basically just support right now until I can actually get a decent build going. So this boss is the Shouting Tiara, and the main bad is the Wrathful Book. They basically just try to enrage you to kill yourself with Tetrakarn. The books are weak to fire. I don't have fire. Wasn't lucky enough. I also won't get fire for the rest of the game. But hey, kind of fits my motif. Also, Akihiko was benched. He sucks and Ken is just better at this point. I killed the little guys pretty easily with Metis' Bufula, and then it's just a very long and boring test of endurance against the book guy.
Engaging! for the team! Good job, everyone!
This first boss took 12 minutes. Future is not looking good. I then pick up more skill cards with Racunda and Rebellion. No more bosses here, so we head straight for the big door, and we're in Paulownia Mall. Sick. Oh yeah, nice to see you, officer. Guys, this guy is completely worthless. Frankly, I don't even know why they made him sell shit here. We also unlock quests from Elizabeth, and our best friend this run. Thank you, Gem Shop Lady. I love you. Here is where we will be completing half of our requests and getting all of our stat cards. This, I kid you not, is pretty much the only way to get stats for the majority of the game. In the next door, Cocytus or something, we get Dodge Ice and Regenerate 1. And now, we encounter our first Monad door. And I'm letting you know right now, this is single-handedly the most busted thing in this game. Also, if you don't go for 3 every time, you're a bitch. Just how it is. Anyway, these work different than in the base game, and because of that, I won't be showing off each one. There's nothing unique about the Monad bosses, and they can appear practically anywhere. But my god, their rewards. The most valuable things here are the gems because duh, and the equipment. This equipment not only has good stats, but they also always have effects, and holy shit, they get busted later. I pick up a power to get my second theurgy of the run, called Justice, High Crit, and High Pierce damage, so I wonder what my build is going to be like for this game. There's some early game quests that let you get some stat cards, so I'm going to be doing those. And even after all that, she is still drastically behind compared to my teammates. But we can't just grind for gems all day, so on to the next boss we go. The Magus uses concentrated magic, the Mayas just spams wind magic, and the table just poisons people. The only real strat for this is to spam all-out attacks whenever possible. Also, don't get hit by amped-up magic attacks. Since I don't have fire, I'm just bouncing off of the other two to kill the mages as fast as physically possible. And this ends up with me just having to fight the Maya.
I have to do this.
Focus. Hit. One more. Nicely done. Here we go. Here's the door. Weapons free. This is the end. That went great.
And for our spoils, we get another tarot card and some upgrades. Puka installs them, and this unlocks the ambush ability, which we won't really be using too much. I get arrow rain, and dungeon's over. Time for Ken trauma. Also, Akihiko is aggro, and like, why? Oh, and Yukari is still doing something. Can't really say it's complaining. Moping, maybe? I don't know.
Right.
But hey, we have Mitsuru now. Anyway, we have literally nothing to do aside from move on to the next door of, Sienna, where I encounter my first great clock so Mitsuru can catch up on levels. God, I need Topaz. Also, I died to the dancers.
Sorry. No.
So, the Harem Dancer and the Natural Dancer are what we're going up against. The Harem Dancer isn't weak to anything, but reflects Slash, resists Pierce, and drains Ice and Wind. Well, hey, that's like all I got. Uh-oh. Luckily, the Natural Dancer is weak to ice, but resistant to everything but physical. The Natural Dancer has debuffs and buffs. The Harem Dancer just tries to inflict charm. Once you know what you're up against, the fight really isn't that bad, unless you get unlucky with who they seduce. My strategy is to kill the Natural Dancer as fast as possible and save my theurgy for the Harem Dancer. Healing with Yukari, debuffing with Mitsuru, buffing with Aigis, and doing most of my damage with Metis. And with that, it's over.
Strange. You reach us some type of charm. Is there anything you can do? This is my wish. All enemies defeated. Good work out there.
However, this time, we picked up some items that allow us to hang out with our team. It's pretty much the only lighthearted or fun moments here, and it boosts their theurgy abilities, so that's nice. We hang out with Mitsuru. Gems. Please. My team is basically going to be doing the same thing throughout the entire game. So I'm not really gonna go over it too much. Anyway, we're up against the Harmony Giant and Judgment Sword. Giant has no weaknesses, but is immune to strike and repels electricity and wind. The sword is weak to wind, and is mostly immune to physical. I gotta kill the sword as fast as possible. Blade of Fury is terrifying, and he can buff. The giant uses electricity, so Yukari is in grave danger. Teammates, mostly Yukari, die, and I get really close myself. In all honesty, I should have died. The shock should have made that crit, but it didn't, so I lived. But once the sword is dead, the fight is easy.
How can I help my sister? Persona! I will protect my sister. Good work out there.
Yet again, we pick up some items for the group so we can hang out with our friends for a bit, which not everyone is willing to do because, well, I don't know why. It's literally infinite time. But before that, Koromaru wants a bone. But yet again, we are interrupted. Holy hell. What is this guy's problem with Metis? Like, literally every chance he gets, man. Anyway, we watch a drama show with Junpei, and Yukari is here to bring down the mood. But God, is this buff insane. Back to the desert, I open a random chest, and by chance get resist ice. This moment, right here, used all my luck for the entire run. Unfortunately, there isn't anything else aside from the cutscene, which only really tells us things that we already know. Akiko is popular with literally everyone, and Mitsuru is weird when recruiting people. Thank God Akutsuki took over. After all that, Junpei shows us why he's best boy, and we get 2 new theurgies for our teammates. In Antenora, we pick up Succubus for a future theurgy, and spend all the gems I have for strength. I am still crippling far behind my teammates in terms of stats. Thankfully, the next boss is alone. The frivolous Maya is immune to both light and dark and drains all physical skills, but it summons a guy who's weak to light. I'm gonna use and abuse Mitsuru's new theurgy, and well, this guy goes down pretty fast with his super skills. The main boss dies before his servant does, and he's not far behind because my Pixie actually has a light skill.
I'll hit them where it hurts. Your defense is reduced. Take that! Good. That's a win for the team. Good job, everyone.
Again, we get some stuff to instigate conversation with our friends because they don't love us enough to hang out with us unless we bring them something cool. I also unlocked the final theurgy of the run, Dreamfest, a heavy damage multi-target dark spell with a high chance of charm. Metis watches Ken make coffee and steals ours. Selfish bitch. Also, Metis' theurgy, building, and buffs suck. Also, Fuka, I love you, but why are we doing math homework? We found this in the abyss of time. Why are we doing it at all? Wouldn't you rather, I don't know, watch TV, read a book, play a game? One good thing is the acquisition of the Empress card. It's a free stat buff to my Pixie and saves me a lot of gems on stat cards. Next boss is the Avenger Knight and Death Castle. No weaknesses, so we have to rely on crits and flat damage. The Knight is immune to pierce and drains electricity, while the castle drains ice and fire with an immunity to darkness. The castle has Mataru Kaja, which is bad. Aside from that, there's nothing too scary. I get a lucky freeze on the Knight, which leads me to charge with Metis, crit with Arrow Rain, and then pass it back to Metis for the bonus damage, ending this fight with a Herculean strike.
Now, Metis, I'll go full power. What's the best move? This is my way. That about does it. No shadows detected.
This adds the Emperor Tarot to our growing collection, which ups our magic and strength by 2. Anyway, cutscene.
That dumbass. Seriously? Getting drunk on cooking wine? That's damn pathetic.
God damn. Junpei is such a good character. And Karamaru's here too. Peak interaction. I know this is Aigis' journey to find the answer to life and all, but what she and Metis talk about is really boring. Also, Ken and Yukari have a moment where we see how bad Yukari's been hit because she's getting advice from an elementary schooler. But hey, more theurgies. We trade in some gemstones for a soul seed droplet, and create the blazing greatsword and complete the quest for the endure skill card, which is necessary for literally any Mega 10 challenge run. Next door is Ptolomea, and I'm finally in a position where my Pixie can start growing. I'm sure there are better team comps, and I could just grind to roid out my Pixie, but that would make the challenge not fun. So I will continue to go at as natural pace as I can. Our first bosses behind this door are the Slaughter Drive and Spastic Turret, both of which have weaknesses. Unfortunately, I can't hit one of them. The turret is weak to ice and drains fire, and the drive drains fire and ice while being weak to electricity. The turret uses heavy concentrated magic, which is really not good, especially for Mitsuru. Thankfully, the turret is the main boss, so the drive has less health and dies even without abusing its weakness.
That's it, Aigis. Summoning! The enemy is down! This is your chance for it! Let's strike them down! And here's your little weapon free! Crush us! Keep your filthy hands off my sister!
Coming back, Fuka tells us she's insecure and I can't let that slide. Also, 2 new Theurgies. Since we have a dog toy, we decide to hang out with Mitsuru. We enjoy a nice cup of tea while Koromaru goes through a goddamn mouse maze to find a toy we found in the abyss. The next box is really easy. The Archon Seeker is weak to strike, fire, and electricity, though it's immune to all other magic. You want to guess what the Ice Raven is weak to? Fire? What are you, stupid? It's Slash, obviously. Also, don't use Pierce or Ice on it. I buff, I debuff, and I Theurgy. Not much else to say.
Summoning! One remaining! Well done! Everyone, forward! Target the line! Take that! Keep your filthy hands off my sister!
I pick up hella items and get an upgrade for my ambush. Metis has a Gekkoukan uniform now, so that's cool. Good bonding between sisters. Still no idea how they wear shoes. After that, we read with Yukari and make a meal with Junpei. Behind trauma door number 4 is Mitsuru and her dead dad.
In any case, sir, are you all right with this? I mean, with bringing your daughter here.
I don't mind at all. I myself requested to come along.
Even if she insisted, I have no idea why her dad let a child, like a very young child, into fucking Tartarus. After that, Akihiko and Koromaru have a heart-to-heart and unlock their second Theurgies. Also another ambush upgrade. Now at this point, I decide that I am in desperate need for an actual build. I was considering doing a dark magic build for Dreamfest, but I ended up going for Pierce because physical is amazing in Persona games. Though I didn't want to just do Slash like I did in my reload run. Pierce isn't as good, but I'm not trying to make the most busted build in the game, just something that's a little new and fun. So I'm going for a crit physical damage build, which means I need Apt Pupil, which has a low % chance of coming from tier 6 and tier 7 skill cards. I was also trying to get Pierce Boost, which comes pretty commonly from tier 5, and I tried, man. I really tried. Look at what I got. I spent so long trying to get these skills, and ultimately, I gave up. Because of that, I picked up Maeyan in Judecca, and this is when I contemplated doing a half and half dark magic and Pierce build. With all of those gems, I make a ton of stat cards, and things are looking up. Also, first boss of this store, the Killer Twins and Red Sigil. The twins drain Pierce, repel electricity, and are immune to dark and weak to fire, which I don't have. The Sigil though, he's weak to ice, nothing more needs to be said. They proc poison a lot, but that's about it. I get a very lucky freeze and absolutely destroy them with Metis.
Somebody's been poisoned. Can someone fix it? My wish will become my strength. Just one to go. Well done. Everyone, forward! Target fire! Take that! Keep your filthy
Fuka asks us if we want to work out with this DVD we found in the Abyss, and she's not doing too hot. But that's fine, she's just support. I then realized I literally need apt people for any decent build, so I go back to grinding and finally get it. Honestly, I think I would have beaten the game faster in the time it took me to get this thing. Anyway, final boss with Judecca, Eternal Sand, and the Reckoning Dice, both of which are immune to all magic, so my only options are physical. Thank goodness I got my skills in order before this. And they use goddamn poison, of course. Also, the sand uses Diarahin and the dice uses Tetracon, so look out for that.
What is optimal? Pixie! I won't be defeated here. Good work out there.
Back at the dorm, we hang out with Koromaru, who really wants some dog food we found in the Abyss of Time. We also hang out with Metis and do this book thingy. She's a little obsessive, but that's okay. We see Yukari's past. Yes, her past is sad. Yes, it is reasonable for her to act and react the way she does, but god damn it, I cannot stand her most of the time. No idea why I liked her when I first played Persona 3 as a kid, but I mean, I don't hate her, but good golly, does her dialogue feel like nails on a chalkboard sometimes. I pick up a king card and get Armor's Master, which is, it's good. I also get my main damage deal for the run, Primal Force and Pierce Amp, and for our first boss in Empyrean, we are going against Tenji Musha, Kaiden Musha, and Onin Kaiden. At this point, you're probably using multi-target skills, so just use physical. All of them are susceptible to it, and magic is loaded with immunities for all three of them. They can be scary, especially with their charge and buff stuff. Also, they're insane physical skills. But one Theurgy and they're done.
It is time. Persona, actualize! The operation was a success. Good work out there.
After that, I remember what I did in my last Pixie run, and grind lock chests for crit rate amp. Now we move on to our last boss in the Abyss of Time, the Nero Minotaur, who resists all physical skills and is immune to fire, ice, and wind, and the Rebellious Cyclops, has the same immunities to magic but isn't resistant to any physical. What I think is funny is the fact that the Minotaur uses magic and the Cyclops uses physical. Also, they are terrifying. The Minotaur has Concentrate and Regenerate. Gotta tell ya, low-key shit myself when he did that turn 1. But, Theurgies exist, so they die pretty fast. Also, I know I could have used Yukari's to finish him, but I felt a tad cheap spamming them every turn.
That's a win for the team. Good job, everyone.
Back to a fun game of Traumadors, we see why Aigis is sad, and yeah, that checks out. Makes sense. But wait, that guy that you guys haven't been seeing because I didn't show you the cutscene before literally every boss fight?
Is that?
The fight itself is pretty fun. The shadow changes resistances and immunities based on whichever persona it's using. I do not know for sure, but I am 90% sure that it will only use the personas of your party members. The first one it uses will always be Athena, Aigis' persona. Its skills also reflect whatever persona it's using, so just know what your teammates can do and you'll be fine. Next it uses Artemisia, at least for me it does, so I won't be using ice anymore. Thankfully my ice weakness has been covered for a while now, so I'll be fine. It then switches to Isis, and though I don't think it can heal, at least not full heal, I would look out for that. But I can't say for sure because it dies before getting another turn.
I'll hit them where it hurts. Go, Artemisia!
I don't know how many of you played The Answer, but this cutscene had a very different impact on me as a child. We get told by a grown child that personas and shadows are one and the same. Shocker, I know. Also, the dorm is like shattering. Oh yeah, we also have keys that either let us go back to normal or go to the past. Ken and Akihiko decide to not mess with time and respect and honor the death and sacrifice of the protagonist, while Yukari is willing to kill to go back because she's sad and mourning and stuff. But she's putting it on a bit thick, not gonna lie. Also, Mitsuru joins her, maybe out of pity or regret, but they're teamed up. Aigis doesn't want her friends fighting, and neither do Koromaru, Junpei, or Fuka. However, it's war, so Meta shows us to a nice Coliseum to better dispatch our friends. First up is Akihiko and Ken. They are by far the tankiest of these fights, so I use what I can to get Ken out before he has the chance to heal. Also, once you get your former teammates low in these fights, they'll use their first theurgy. Unfortunately, Ken gets off at Diarahin before I kill him, so this fight is going to last a bit longer. Akihiko has charge and God's hand, so that's bad. Also, you may have noticed I am using salvation. That is because metas can't heal, and I don't have enough items to last me.
How can I help my sister? You're wide open.
Serious damage.
You're finished! I'll use this power to protect her!
Not here.
We see our friends become fire, and Metis tells us they'll die if we don't finish what we've started. Next up is Junpei and Koromaru, which killing them pains me to no end. They say some smart shit, further solidifying that this dog and formerly emotional hot-headed idiot are in fact better than Mitsuru and Yukari. I remember I have some items to use, so I actually use them, since I don't have any buff or debuffs aside from Tarukaja. Unfortunately, I have theurgies, so with a lucky charge from Fuka, the dog dies, and Junpei gets very close.
Sorry to drag you into this, boy. Don't worry. I'll fight enough for both of us.
Man, I can't do this shit, bro. Oh my god.
No, not like this.
Aigis doesn't want to be involved in the maybe death of her friends, but that changes in like 4 minutes after Meta starts crying, so I'm gonna skip over that. Yukari and Mitsuru are last, and they don't last very long. My target is Yukari because healing, and she goes down with a crit and a theurgy. Mitsuru isn't that far behind, dying after some nice primal forces.
Summoning! Pixie! Amazing! I can do this! Persona! Engage!
I've failed.
And everyone's back to normal. And this has no long-lasting effects on our friendship whatsoever. Also, Yukari starts begging and crying on her knees.
I want him back. I want him back. I don't care about
Wh-
anything else.
where
I
was this
just want
base
him to come
game?
back.
She never did this shit!
So hard to
Some story stuff happens where Aigis wants to see the reason as to why the protagonist died, but before the final battle, I have one more thing to do. The Reaper. However, this time, I don't have the element immunity or resistance, mostly because 2 of my party members can't use that kind of equipment, and I don't have the resources to warrant them. The same Reaper as the base game, neutral to everything, has 2 turns and a ton of skills to choose from. He's got all heavy magic, elemental breakers, and insta-death, along with Violet Assault, Myriad Arrows, God's Hand, Akasha Arts, and Megidolan. He's also got Heat Riser, Debilitate, Concentrate, and of course Tintarafu. Thankfully, this is a lot smoother than the base game's Vorpal Blade, so I get this on my first try. The magic is as bothersome as always, especially with Concentrate, but I have plenty of revive options, and I do lots of damage.
I can do this! Pixie!
Here is the final build. I know there are better things for these guys, but it's what I got, so it's what I'm using. Alright, now on to the final boss.
So this is the miracle he performed.
So basically, Nyx was just neutral in the whole thing, more a force of nature than a being with malice or benevolence. And so we gotta temporarily kill the guy that is the collective wish of death for every single sentient being on the planet. Also, the protagonist from the base game is a door, and he's cock-blocking Erebus from Nyx. Also, speaking of the boss, Erebus has 3 forms, only 2 of them really matter. Its normal form, which is resistant to everything but physical, and its charging form, which is resistant to physical and repels electricity, dark, and wind. As for final boss norms, this thing's got all single and multi-target heavy magic, light and dark insta-death, and for physical skills, it's got Deathbound, Akasha Arts, and Myriad Arrows. He does have some status moves in Poison Mist, Virus Breath, Tentarfu, and Infuriate, but I have Amarati Shower, so I don't care. His support skills, though, fuck. Concentrate, Charge, Masakunda, Matsurunda, Tetrakarn, and Makarakarn. Not good, especially since I'm low on Dakunda gems. He's also got a unique move, Dark Embrace, which takes 3 turns to charge. Once it's fully charged, it will use Primal Darkness, which does massive almighty damage to all foes. Fortunately, you can disrupt the charging and down him if you use a Theurgy, which I think is a really cool mechanic. Anyway, my strategy stays the same: land crit and massive damage with Aigis, buff and deal damage with Metis, heal with Yukari, and debuff and do magic damage with Mitsuru. There aren't many close calls thanks to my skills and equipment, and this guy goes down with a nice juicy crit on Primal Force.
What is optimal? Persona, engage!
With our answer to life found, everyone is happy and has new purpose. For the first and last time, we are taken to the Velvet Room again, where it is discovered that Metis is Aigis' emotional side given form, and we join back together to actually live. The time loop ends, and the abyss is gone, and the developers could have just made this a massive April Fool's joke. Everyone wakes up and slowly starts remembering that the last time someone found the answer to life, they died. Unfortunately, we can't have 2 dead protagonists in the same game, despite how funny that would be, so Aigis just becomes a living machine. Don't ask me how, man, I don't know. The dorm gets wrapped up, and Aigis decides to go back to school and rooms with Yukari.
Because we're friends, aren't we?
Oh yeah, I also get this cool butterfly thing on my save file. The blue envelope didn't do that, but I think this looks neat. So yes, you can beat episode Aigis with only a Pixie. Let me know if you would like to see me do this with another Mega 10 game. I usually do Let's Play content, but I do stuff like this on occasion. Also, for my community, this isn't the video you voted for in the poll. That one is still being made. Anyway, thank you for watching, and see you in the next one. Later.